told me my my stuff wasn't working. So I blame you guys for my microphone messing up. But yeah, I'm gonna run a couple of other videos here, and that's simply due to the fact that, like I said, I'm just getting this whole browser thing checked out. I got the cheap internet on, but if it starts crashing, I'll move to the standard one. But I just got to make sure everything's working as it is. And if it is working, we'll definitely be able to do more live streams. So let's go on to this one here.
In clomiphene, I described that he was natural, that I thought he was taking in clomiphene. I described how it would be very difficult to go from having lower levels of testosterone to that into the 900s. Simply,
I don't see why he would need to use steroids in order to build that scrawny physique. That's a physique that you can naturally build.
By eating more and taking rest in the gym. But in this video, he literally admits to no longer being natural. And so what is he taking and why? We're gonna explain it, talk about the doses, everything you need to know about BPC 157. And so in case you've never heard of that, BPC 157 is a healing peptide, but it's banned by WADA. WADA is a governing body that tests drug-tested sports, such as the Olympics, and they list a variety of drugs, peptides, SARMs, etc., that you can't take if you want to compete. And so if Alex Eubank were to enter a competition and they were to watch this video, they could say, hey, you can't compete, you're breaking the rules. Now, one thing I want to make clear, I personally have nothing against anyone taking any of these things, so long as you're not breaking the law and you're doing so with the advice and consent from your doctor. Now remember, BPC 157, oftentimes people are getting it underground. You don't actually know what you're taking. But there is research to show that it does in fact speed wound healing. It does so by increasing blood vessel growth to the wounded area. And so in Alex Eubank's case, he has a sore shoulder pain. He has a torn labrum. And so by injecting PBC 157 into the shoulder, it's hoping to heal quicker. Perhaps.
So he's using it for recovery issues, not so much as to get bigger. So that was my whole thing about this, because his physique is something that anyone can actually build. So let's check out more.
Twice as fast as if he wasn't using it. And so what you do is you inject subcutaneously, that means under the skin, it doesn't have to be in the muscle, and near the injured site. The closer to the site, the better. You will in fact get systemic blood vessel growth throughout the body, but it's going to be more specific to where you inject it. And so many people getting injured and they want to heal faster than last time, they're using BPC 157. And the dosing, people vary, but perhaps around 300 micrograms up to maybe 500 micrograms once to twice daily for up to 2 months following an injury. Now, I can say that I have in fact used this in the past, but I've also used something known as TB500, and the dosing, the protocols essentially are the same. And if you were to inject it one time in the day, the best.
You know, I really don't care whether someone's using it for recovery purposes. But, you know, Greg is just trying to play it off as if he's trying to use it in order to become Ronnie Coleman or so. So this is pretty much a nothing burger.
Time is before bed. That is when you're healing the most. You're at rest, you're not moving, you're able to recover. And so if you had an injured tricep, shoulder, anything to that extent, and you were to inject in that area before bed, that would most likely be the best time for you. But remember, I am not a freaking doctor. I have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm not the guy to go for advice for this. Please go see your own doctor and don't break the law. And remember, this is for information purposes only. I'm not claiming to be a doctor. I'm not claiming that everything I say is right. And so watch this video with
blah, 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 blah. You should have had that in the front place of the screen. You know, one thing I hate more than anything else is when people say, I'm not a doctor and this and that, yet you're giving, you know, practically most of everyone's videos. And it's not just Greg. It's a lot of these fitness influencers on social media they'll say, well, I'm not a doctor, but you should do this, 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 and this. And then you'll look great, you know. It's like whenever someone goes and bludgeons someone to death, and you literally see them on TV like killing like 19 or 20 people. The news reporters still say allegedly, you know. It's just bullshit, you know.
5 grains of salt.
But yeah, I want to talk about the whole BPC thing. Apparently it's like a banned substance or whatnot. It's a peptide. It's a healing peptide that helps with aiding like healing in, I think, like ligaments, wounds. And for me, like, you guys gotta realize, like, this is my job, my career. If I can't train, bro, then I'm screwed. I have to be able to work out, train, make fitness content, whatnot. It's what I do for a living.
And so one thing I think that everyone can agree on is that whether you're natural or enhanced, it's debatable. I think that Alex has no trouble saying he's taking BPC 157 because for the most part, people don't care. If you say, hey, I'm taking a healing peptide, I was injured, I'm taking TB 500, BPC 157, and I'm only taking these things to help speed an injury. I don't think people are saying, oh, well, you're a fake natty. The only reason you got those muscles is because of those peptides. I don't believe that to be the case at all. And to
Well, it can't be the case because he doesn't have that much muscle to begin with.
the same extent, people who smoke weed, doing edibles and so on, or perhaps taking stimulants, people don't view those as being fake naturals either. Many people only view fake natties as if you take something that builds muscle. And I can go so far as some people debate SARMs or HRT, that's natural, but that is a whole different topic, and I do have that in a different video. So if you're interested in watching that video, click the link in the description. Now remember, BPC 157 or TB 500 can speed the rate of healing, but it can't perform miracles. If you have a torn labrum, imagine your labrum is torn completely off. It can't magically, like in some kind of movie, form its way together and magically heal once again. When I broke my elbow and tore my tricep off the bone, you can't just inject TB 500 and it'll magically reconnect. It can't perform miracles. And so I have torn labrums everywhere. All of my labrums are torn, hips and shoulders. And so
you know, it's kind of amazing how some of these peptides actually work. But you know, there's still no indication as far as to what type of long-term effects you can possibly have.
Alex Eubank has one torn labrum in his shoulder, and it makes it very difficult to train. I totally get it. I had that. I had to stop squatting, had to stop deadlifting, bench pressing, and so when I'm in the gym, I'm doing the best I can. And Alex, I do believe he's also doing the best he can. And he's trying to heal faster than last time. But if it's actually completely torn, it can't magically get back together. But if you have surgery and they reattach it, that healing, it's going to be that much faster. And so when they reattach my tricep into my elbow, you can see my scar. By injecting TB 500 and BPC 157 right around the injury, it allowed it to heal quicker. And so I could come back from that injury, from that surgery, faster. And faster than last time, as I had it on both sides. 2 separate injuries, 2 separate...
Honestly, folks, if you get injured or so forth, don't run for peptides. Usually it's best to let things heal naturally. In other words, go to your doctor, get it bandaged up, and listen to what your doctor says. And I can 110% guarantee that your doctor's not going to tell you to go run for some peptides. There's no telling what the long-term effects of using peptides are.
Bike accidents.
And it's been so painful, my shoulder. It's never been, kind of after I dislocated, it usually doesn't hurt that bad, but it has been like excruciating pain, like waking me up at night. Like, it's not fun to deal with.
And so imagine he's waking up at night in pain. I've had that. You're laying down on one side and your shoulder gets stiff. I've gone 6 months where I couldn't train my shoulders whatsoever. And so it's really bad. I went to the doctor. They said, yeah, we can perform surgery, but here in Canada it takes years. And by that time they said, yeah, it's just going to tear again anyway. So why waste 12 weeks trying to recover? But for Alex, he has to go and see his own doctor. He's much younger than me. Most likely they would perform the surgery. But when you're in your 40s, it's kind of like, just let it go, live with it.
So yeah.
You challenge me to a debate there, Sean G? Is this the real Sean G? Obviously, this is not the real one. The reason being is because this is only 15 subscribers. So, timeout you go. All right, let's continue.
Yeah, I don't know how people are gonna take me using something like that. Or Greg Doucette probably gonna make it.
No, a fake. But when he comes back in 10 minutes or so forth, he should learn his lesson.
Video and be like, Alex Eubank, not natty.
And so exactly, Alex Eubank.
Oh, by the way, hey, Pugman, I'm trying out that thing I told you about yesterday, and other than not turning on my microphone, things seems to be working okay for right now.
Is not natty. But here's the thing. Do we care? That is the most important factor. We're saying Alex Eubank is not natural for taking BPC 157, and he's not. He would fail a drug test. It's banned by WADA. If he was going into the Olympics for any sport and he came in and showed this, they would say, you can't compete. Now, that is not my decision to make. And frankly, I say go for it. I would change the rules. If WADA were to call up Coach Greg and say, should we allow BPC 157, TB 500? Should we take it off the ban list? I'd be like, yeah, remember when you had caffeine ban? I didn't like that either. I would have taken that off the list. Think of how many people are drinking coffee. Do you really want everyone out there who's drinking coffee? And remember, I'm still on the phone. Do you really want everyone out there drinking coffee to feel like they're drug cheats? Do you really think they should feel bad about themselves? And while you're at it, could you take off marijuana?
Hey, fat man, what's up?
I'm literally taking edibles before bed to go to sleep. A lot of people need it for medical purposes. Perhaps it makes them eat better, feel better. And why are we banning this? Is it actually worse than alcohol? And now I'm still on the...
The reason why they're banning it is because, people are injecting this stuff. And I don't think the Food and Drug Administration wants something injected that didn't come out of a pharmacy, that's coming around from, Uncle Zeke's barn, essentially. Yes, he does drone on and on, doesn't he?
The phone. And if you don't listen to me, why not just add in alcohol? Anyone that drinks alcohol, you can't compete in sport. It's bad. It's not.
In fact, folks, we're going to move on to another video. I think Greg actually misses the point in terms of, there's no telling as far as to what type of long-term effects that can possibly take place from using peptides. And this kid, he's up there, he goes and gets an injury, and he goes, rather than healing up naturally, he goes and resorts to these peptides because he has to make fitness content. No, you don't. Your health is your wealth, There's a lot of these people that have created fitness content that have actually ended up killing themselves because they just kept going and going with what they're doing. I mean, recently there was a soccer player, he was dismissed from 3 different teams for heart problems, but he still kept playing, and these teams still kept picking him up. And what recently happened to that soccer player, I can't pronounce his name, he went and just kicked the bucket, just died right on the catch too, Oh, I'm a little bit soused myself here, so, after all, this show is The Hangover, Jay. Hey, JMZ, what's up? Yeah, but I'm getting to the point that where I'm just not going to call him Coach Greg, and it's just going to be Greg at this point in time. Because some of this stuff is just, it's just literally getting ridiculous, But let's go on to the next video. I'll have to probably run a little extra on this because my microphone was not working in its entirety. Someone wanted me to check out this one here. And this is our favorite person, Vegan Booty, Tosh Anderson. Apparently she was screaming at women eating ice cream. This might be some good mints here, but we'll see.
These are the screams of
imagine it's a nice sunny day out there? You're eating your ice cream, you're minding your own business, not business, business. And this loudmouth bitch comes on and starts ruining your day with yelling and screaming.
These are the screams of 6-month-old pigs forced into carbon dioxide gas chambers. They burn from the inside out, and you're responsible for their rape, torture, enslavement, abuse, and murder if you're not vegan, and their blood is on your hands. Listen to the victims of the animal holocaust, the largest holocaust in history. 3 trillion non-human animals are brutally murdered every year for your food choices. Feed their flesh, steal their milk, eggs, skin, wool, fur from them. Use them as
Yeah, true hero all right there, isn't it, Pugman?
entertainment machines and commodities. If you're not vegan, you're an animal abuser, and you have blood on your hands. Watch Dominion on YouTube to see what is happening. The largest holocaust in history is being hidden from you, and every moment you choose not to be vegan, you are responsible for rape, slavery, torture, abuse, and murder. Listen to their screams.
It's not loud enough.
Yeah, and I especially hate it when these activists there, and they say the word Holocaust, just in order to, it just brings more attention. When you hear the word Holocaust, people are going to turn their heads. But, in this type of environment at this point in time with Israel and Palestine, throwing hands with each other, I'd be kind of fearful for using the word Holocaust. Oh, she's already been punched before. There's another video where she's punched and kicked, actually.
Loud enough. Just keep speaking and I'll set this up. Keep speaking.
Pigs are just 6 months old when they're forced into carbon dioxide gas chambers. You block your ears, but you're paying for this Holocaust, and you're responsible for the most brutal murder on this planet. Most of you here would say that you care about animals and that you're against animal abuse, but guess what?
Stamps are in the video comments. 2 timestamps.
All right, 53 with a $10 donation. Let's take a look and see here.
Yo.
All right, I got you, Pugman. Let's see here. All right.
So, Paul. Just for you, man. Just for you.
Needs a little work there, but let's check it out again.
I see like 5 likes. Okay. So, Paul. That's how you be doing it, right? Then I get in there. I say, so, Paul. There you go.
That one was a little bit better. But, you got to have the lung capacity to do the Bowl. That's lung capacity. So Lamar, you my man, you got a good soul, Poe, but you gotta work on it a little bit. But 53, thanks again for the donation. All right. Let's see here. I could sure use some titty milk right now. Yeah, I may just go downtown, find a woman, and just motorboat her, and then suck on her tits, or so forth. That's what I feel like right now. I definitely need some milk, but chances are I'll just go to a grocery store. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is.
After she gives birth, her babies are taken away from her and murdered if they're born male. You have blood on your hands if you're not vegan. And you are responsible for the largest Holocaust in history.
3 trillion. Oh boy. Good for him. He's a good man. I'd have a beer with him.
Animals every year are brutally murdered. Do you support violence? If you're applauding right now, you are on the side of violence.
Hold this.
Do you actually think that I'm wearing someone's skin? Are you that ignorant that an animal rights activist would wear someone's skin? Are you not aware that vegan leather exists? This is not someone's skin. You can get vegan leather. So why do you choose to pay for animals to be murdered for your leather products when you can choose vegan items and food and other lifestyle choices?
Vegan leather is one of the most damaging products there as far as the environment is concerned. The vegan leather production is highly environmentally unfriendly. It actually makes it worse for the animals instead of better, just because something doesn't use animal products here. But the thing about animal products is leather lasts for years, decades, centuries. Vegan leather, for the most part, you'll get about 6 months to a year, and then you got to buy it again. And that's what makes it so environmentally unfriendly.
You either remain ignorant and an animal abuser, or you choose veganism right now after knowing the truth. Because I'm here to bring the truth to you.
Press the Bluetooth button.
It's not working.
Don't worry. Try this. See if that's louder.
Yeah, it's vegan leather, mate. It's vegan leather. Do you actually think I'd wear someone's skin? Do you actually think I'd pay someone to go into a slaughterhouse to wear their skin? But you do, don't you? Because you're a fucking animal abuser.
This is kind of mini. Let me see what she said. Did you hear what she just said?
Do you think I'd pay someone to go into a slaughterhouse to wear their skin? But you do, don't you? Because you're a fucking animal abuser.
Now she's up there just cursing at her, at the people, So eventually, probably the cops are going to come,
Watch Dominion on YouTube and see the truth. You're not vegan, you're an animal abuser, you have blood in your hands. You pay for animals to be raped by farmers. Mother cows have fists shoved into their anus, and they're injected with semen. They don't consent to this, but this is what you pay for if you drink dairy products. Male chicks in the egg industry are macerated on their first day of life in a blender for simply being born male. This is not okay.
This used to actually make me very cringy and everything like that, but it's sort of like watching a Benny Hill show. That
Hey, if you're against animal abuse, you would now become vegan after learning these facts. This information is deliberately being hidden from you, and you've been brainwashed to believe that something humane happens in a slaughterhouse. How the fuck does that even happen? Murder is not humane. You do not need to eat animals. You do not need to drink milk and eat their eggs.
I mean, the good thing about it is it's a nice sunny day, and, she is the afternoon entertainment there, Can't ask for anything else here,
And you definitely don't need to wear their skin.
The only thing that's missing is, they should go and hand all the people tomatoes so they can throw at her. Sort of like that little old Muppet show where they threw tomatoes at Fozzie Bear whenever he told a bad joke.
Fur, wool, or use them as entertainment. If right now I was talking about dogs being forced to slaughterhouses, I think most of you would be cheering me on. But you boo me just because they're cows, chickens, fish. What's the moral difference? They all want to live. They scream for their lives in slaughterhouses right now. Millions of animals are being tortured, abused, and murdered on your behalf if you're not vegan. Watch Dominion. I dare you to see the footage. Watch animals screaming for their lives because of your lifestyle choices to eat animals.
Yeah, that's the... You know, she's going to start getting even more negative reactions when you bring up the word Holocaust and stuff in this type of environment. It used to already turn heads, but it means so much more at this time. I would be scared, One thing's for sure, I'd be walking around with a bulletproof vest if I'm going to be going and talking and screaming Holocaust, Holocaust, Holocaust. That's for sure.
Steal their milk and eggs from them to wear their skin, wool, fur, feathers, scales, and silk, to eat honey, to use animals as entertainment, watch them being forced.
That's the whole thing again about honey. There are vegans that argue that honey is vegan, and then there's other vegans that argue that it isn't. So, and then they say that insects are not vegan as well. I think that's one argument that Richard had as far as that's concerned. These vegan nutcases can't even determine whether they're in support of honey or no honey. It's amazing.
To race and perform. They deserve rights just like us, and you're violating their right to live. Their simple right to life, to live just like us without being exploited, enslaved, raped, tortured, abused, and murdered. This is the largest Holocaust in history. 3 trillion innocent individuals are brutally murdered every year.
They're cheering because the police have showed up, I think they've had enough of the clown show,
Wanting violence. You're on the side of violence. Do you choose violence or veganism? Pardon?
Said if you had it your way, they'd all fucking starve.
They should be raised in the first place. Basic economics, basic supply and demand. Every time you pay for their flesh, their milk, their eggs, they are raped and forcibly bred into existence. They should not exist in the first place to be subjected to slavery, rape, torture, abuse, and murder. It's that simple. You buy, they die. It's that straightforward.
Tash.
End the animal Holocaust now. Watch Dominion on YouTube.
Thank you very much. That's okay. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Can you give a message?
I've seen this guy before. Or maybe all of them in different countries look alike. They got beards and stuff,
Yeah.
I'll just have a chat with you via car.
Why is that?
So just like
Folks, this closed captioning I'm going to turn off because doesn't seem to be working well. I don't think either one of them have HIV. So let's turn that off.
chat with you via car.
Why is that?
So just like what you normally do, I understand your cause that you're going for and things like that, and I'm not here to dispute what you're saying. But unfortunately, when you're in a public area like this, you're blasting your megaphone, it's disorderly. So I'm not looking at charging you at this point. I'm just going to issue a move on. So that's what's going to happen.
So how is it offensive, threatening, or insulting conduct?
You were cursing at people. There she goes again, just lying in front of a police officer.
So a move on is basically for anyone who's disrupting the peace. If you look around here and you can pan the camera to everyone that's watching, people that are filming, people that are yelling back at you, although you have the right to disagree with them on what they're eating and things like that, in this public setting and how it's being responded to with their reactions to you, it's not welcomed by many people here who are getting upset by it. Therefore, that's a breach of the peace.
Right, so basically I have no right to protest in the public area.
You have the right to protest, but it comes to a point where you've got a megaphone, you're yelling, and obviously they're becoming upset, you're engaging with them, and there's that level of being disorderly, breaching the peace.
So let me break it down to you. You have the right to protest, but when you're being combative with the crowd, you're using a megaphone, you are disturbing the peace, in other words. Plain and simple, And you're also, again, threatening people there and cursing them out. You can't engage in that way. There's a point in time to where it comes to a protest, and then it just comes to disturbing the peace. She, as usual, crosses the line as far as disturbing the peace is concerned.
Coming upset. I'm not seeing anyone leave their table or get up
No,
so
I don't see that either. But you've got people yelling back, swearing and things like that. They're also committing an offence as well. But obviously, you're part of the reason why they're getting upset.
Yeah, well, I think people should be upset because it is the largest
Maybe so, but
Holocaust in history.
I'm not here to argue on that.
But I'm just questioning why I should receive a move on order. Shouldn't I at least get a warning before?
Well, if I give you a warning, are you going to move on or are you going to stay here?
I'm not sure, but surely you
Well,
could,
then I'm not.
See, he's telling her to move on because he has to know that she's going to continue doing the same shit,
Sure, if I could just
in the past,
give you a
police
warning.
have negotiated and said, look, you can't use a megaphone, but you have your right to stay here. If you do use the megaphone again, we'll give you a move on.
Yeah.
And we
So you're trying to negotiate
something
with me here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I usually
Well,
do.
look, I've seen some of your stuff,
Yeah.
right, and I know that you don't stop unless you give them a move on. So I'm not satisfied that if I just take your word, which you're not really giving me anyway, that you're actually going to stop doing this. So that's why I'm giving you a move on, right? Yep. Easy. Have you got any other questions for me?
No.
No. All right. Okay. Excellent. Easy. What's the plans for the rest of the day?
I mean, I was hoping to come down here a bit longer.
If someone asked me if an officer asked me what my plans are for the next day or so forth, I tell them none of your business, or I care not to disclose that. I don't know how it is in Europe there, but you do have the right to remain silent. But at the same time, Tasha's gonna definitely be in the wrong because she's disturbing the peace. She's not really there for protesting. She's just there to get combative, and eventually someone's gonna just whip out the Roscoe, and they're just gonna shoot her, and her boyfriend just straight dead. I mean, it's just reckless as far as to what they actually do. Just completely reckless.
Yeah. How long have you been here for?
Oh, only maybe.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just head off now.
Let's grab something.
I've just come back from overseas.
Have you got any updated ID on you with your address? No. Are you still living? Is it
Thank you so much for everything.
I was supporting you over there, and I'm so sorry that no one else was supporting.
Aww, she supports her. Nice.
It's always really beautiful to have a few people.
She probably has that person staged there just to, it's probably someone that works for Tasha, Because I'm going to tell you this right now, folks. Anyone that goes screaming and hollering and being combative with someone, even if they are a vegan activist, they would just never confront a crazy person. It just wouldn't happen. So this stuff here probably is all staged.
We were screaming as loud as we can, and I'm sorry that the message isn't came out to people.
It's alright. We're making a good
do it.
We're gonna do it. Yeah. Thank you. If you're not vegan, you have blood on your hands. If you're eating the bodies and secretions of Holocaust victims, you're paying for their rape, slavery, torture, abuse. abuse and murder if you're not vegan. If you're not vegan, you're an animal abuser. You're dining on Holocaust victims.
See, and like I said, the cop is right. She's just not going to stop. She doesn't care. She says what she has to say to the cops just to get them away, and then she goes right back to it.
The largest Holocaust in history. Animal abusers, total losers.
Can you imagine spending your entire life just so angry like that?
You're an animal abuser and you're paying for dairy cows being raped.
Watch this here. They're up there eating ice cream, and she just goes and directly is combative with them. Watch. Look at this.
You're an animal abuser and you're paying for dairy cows being raped and their babies to be kidnapped from them and murdered if they're born male. If you're not vegan, you're an animal abuser. Eating ice cream of rape and murder. You should be ashamed of yourself. Yeah, you like rape and murder? Fucking animal abuser.
You see, do you call that a protest? Or do you call that being combative and disturbing the peace? She's basically challenged him to a fight there, you know. And you know what's going to happen eventually? You know. Especially in the U.S. You go and pull some stuff like that, yeah. That's what's going to happen. All right, folks. Let's see here. Oh, looks like we got about 5 minutes left. Lamar, what's up, man? Did you see my reactions? I saw your little soul poll. You gotta work on it a little bit, brother. You gotta work on it a little bit, you know. But you know, I still gotta do the mine anyway because we only got 5 minutes left. So let me go ahead and get the soul poll in. We'll get a little music started here. All right, folks, we got a few minutes left, so get your questions in. Y'all want to put a donation in? You certainly can. Lamar, you gonna be streaming this afternoon? Let me know in the comments. May hang out for a bit. I'm probably gonna go take a walk in the park just to get away from the house. I don't feel like watching any football right now. Or if I need to catch up with scores, I'll just use my phone. Yes, indeed. You know, I'm kind of surprised, actually. This new Opera browser works pretty good, I have to say. It definitely uses a lot less resources than Chrome. And I'm not even using the big router, actually, so I'm kind of impressed. Little bit, okay, I gotcha. Gotta get that stuff scheduled, man. Work on schedules. You do that, you're gonna be in business there, Lamar. love that bird. All right, folks, that is the end of the show. I want to thank 53 for donating. I want to thank everyone for joining. But tune in. Probably I may do a show on Monday because, like I said, I'm still testing out this new connection and browser. But it seems to be working good, and I'm using the real cheap internet on this too. Low resources. I mean, it's giving me different readings, but it does look like it played pretty well. Other than the fact that I didn't turn on my microphone at the start of the show, everything seems to be working fine. But again, folks, I'm gonna get dressed. I gotta head downtown. I'm gonna just rest up a bit. But as always, folks, peace and soul.